aka Bullets, YouTube channel.
Hurry up, now tell us why you're here.
There are two rookies that failed to qualify for the Florida 500, being Ernie Swervin and Ricky Slud. These guys race in the second race though. The second race begins with Larry Smith leading for the first 12 laps, but then he'll lose it to Cale Yarborough, who will lead for the next 4 laps until lap 18. But on lap 18, Don Chapcar will take the lead until lap 34. But then, Darrell Cartrip will take the lead from him on lap 34 and lead for the next 8 laps. Dale Earnhardt will lead all the way until lap 69, until Larry Smith will retake the lead on lap 69. But on lap 76, he'll lose the lead. But, well, first, Chick Hicks is 8th as of lap 73. But then he'll crash Hall Ingus, Misty Motorcrass, Michael Cartrip, Will Draft Rev, Owen Drivewell, and he'll put Clint Shiftright, Davey Carlson, and Cale Yarborough 3 laps down. But the one who took the lead from Larry Smith is Rusty Wheelhouse, and he'll lead for the next 3 laps until lap 79, where the King will take it and lead all the way to lap 154! But then, Andrew Axler will take the lead for about half a lap before something happens. And the something is, he's out because of Dale Earnhardt, who will crash him on lap 154 and lead to lap 212! But then, Jonathan Melcher will lead for the next 12 laps after that. But then, Benny Pitstops will lead for the next 5 laps after Jonathan Melcher has lost the lead. Davey Carlson is on lead lap on lap 228. But then, Ken Schrader will take the lead on lap 229 and lead to lap 236. But then, WJ Lights will lead for the next 6 laps. But on lap 242, Don Chapcar has retaken the lead and he'll lead for 99 laps! How do you lead for that long? But then, Clint Shiftright will take the lead. Oh, he's on lead lap on lap 307. Rusty Wheelhouse is the one who takes the lead from Don Chapcar. But then Terry Carboni will take the lead on lap 355 and lead for the next 8 laps. After that's over, Darrell Cartrip will take the lead for the next 2 laps. But then, the King passes him and then he'll take the lead until lap 378 for a total of 13 laps. Dale Earnhardt is second as of lap 378, but then he crashes the King, who's now out! But after Dale Earnhardt loses the lead, Don Chapcar is the one who takes the lead, and he'll lead for 12 laps. But then, Mark Carton will take the lead for 100 laps! He's the first rookie since the King who led for 100 laps. But Don Chapcar had to lead the last 10 laps. And oh, look at this! He wins the second race, the Daytona 500. But then, the King... Oh, turns out the King can race in the third race. Clint Shiftright will start off the third race, leading for the first 57 laps! How? But what's even crazier is that he's out because of Dale Earnhardt, who will lead for until all the way until lap 178. How do you lead for that long? But then, Bill Raceslot will take the lead from him and lead until lap 199. Who will lose the lead to Neil Brackett, who will lead for the next 7 laps. But then Neil Brackett is out because of Chick Hicks, who will take the lead for 8 laps. Darrell Cartrip had something to say about this. He said, "Leave poor Neil alone, Chick. He just wants to race." But then Darrell Cartrip leads from lap 214 to lap 217. Good job, Darrell Cartrip, for leading the next 3 laps. Jonathan Melcher will take the lead from him and lead until lap 223. But his rival, Cole Speedland, is out for 3 races. Thanks a lot, Jonathan Melcher! And now, Larry Smith is out. What? Larry Smith's out too? Come on, Jonathan Melcher. Axel McDrift takes the lead after that and leads for the next 6 laps. The King will take the lead from him and lead to lap 285? How? But then Chick Hicks will take the lead for... Oh, he's 5th as of lap 266. And he'll crash Mike Yankee, who's out for 10 races! And he also crashes Craig Shiftright, who's out next race. James Robson will take the lead on lap 285 from the King and lead for the next 9 laps. But then, Dale Carrett will take the lead after that and lead to lap 318. He'll lose the lead to Don Chapcar that same lap, and he'll lead to lap 347. But then, the King will lead the final 3 laps of the race, and then he wins the 3rd race. Tom Landis came very close, only losing by 11 feet. Benny Pitstops starts off the 4th race at pole position and leads for the first 8 laps. Larry Smith will lead to lap 81, but then WJ Lights will take the lead from him for that same lap and lead for the next 8 laps. But then Chick Hicks is 10th as of lap 86, and he'll crash Alan Karwicki, who's down 3 laps, and also Ken Schrader, who's down 3 laps as well, and Eugene Karboreski, who's out for 7 races. But then Mark Carton will take the lead on lap 90 and lead for the next 5 laps. He'll lose the lead to Hall Ingus, who will lead all the way to lap 102. But then Dale Earnhardt takes the lead to lap 345. How do you lead for 243 laps? And now Dale Earnhardt's down 1 lap because he needs to pitch. Clint Shiftright will take the lead for the next 30 laps. But then Bill Rayslot will take the lead from him on lap 375 and lead for the next 24 laps. Dale Earnhardt is now back on lead lap on lap 381. Don Chapcar will lead for the next 38 laps. But then Davey Carlson will lead until lap 459. But then James Robson will take the lead and lead all the way to lap 479 for a total of 19 laps. The King will take the lead, and he's on the lead until lap 487. But then James Robson will lead for the final 13 laps of the race, and he'll win the 4th race. This is his first win ever. And Alloy Wilson will start the 5th race and lead for the first 22 laps. Jonathan Melcher is 31st as of lap 15. And then he crashes Brush Kerber, who will be out for 15 races. Poor guy. And also Jack Spinner, who has to miss the rest of the season. I feel bad. And also Kevin Racing Tire, who has to miss the next 4 races. I really feel bad for these guys. And also Will Draft Rev, who misses 11 races. I feel really bad for these 4 right now. But Misty Motocross takes the lead on lap 22 and leads for the next 4 laps. Rusty Wheelhouse is 2nd as of lap 26. And he crashes Misty Motocross, the leader. And oh look! Rusty Wheelhouse is now in the lead. And he'll remain in the lead till lap 32. And Chick Hicks, who's 3rd as of lap 32, crashes Rusty Wheelhouse, the leader. But it's not Chick Hicks who takes the lead. It's Darrell Cartrip's down 10 laps. I feel bad. But turns out Chick Hicks does take the lead. And he leads to lap 48. And now all of these cars will have the lead over these specific laps. Well, it's just nothing of importance happens when these guys are in the lead until Don Chapcar leads until lap 149. But then Dale Earnhardt, who's also very good at leading for a long time, will take the lead from him and lead till lap 174. But then the King will take the lead until lap 201, leading for 27 laps. But then Dale Earnhardt will take the lead for the next 16 laps. But then Chick Hicks blows a tire on lap 217. Alex Quint is now out because of the crashed tire. But then Craig Shiftright is out next race. Why is he out next race? Because his spoiler falls off! And it hits Axel McDrift right where his eyes are. Ouch! That's gotta hurt. And Axel McDrift aggressively drives into the wall, hoping to get the spoiler off of his windshield eyes. Hopefully Axel McDrift can get it off of him. But Axel McDrift crashes into Ernie Swervin, who's now out next race, which also gets out Claude Scruggs, Ron Pitcar. Axel McDrift is out, but for how long is he out? Sadly, Axel McDrift died. He died when he drove into the wall one final time while blindfolded. The cause of the death is because Axel McDrift overheated his engine and crashed into the wall, causing a small fire. Axel was only 24 when this all happened. Billy Ford almost won the 5th race, but in the end, Andrew Axler won the 5th race. But that's not the most important event. The most important event is Axel McDrift's tragic death, and here is the reactions of some fellow racers. Axel McDrift will for sure be missed. Rest in peace, Axel McDrift. But as you see down there, here are a few quotes. Even Dale Earnhardt had something nice to say, because he misses Axel McDrift, just like many other racers. We'll all miss seeing Axel McDrift racing on the track. It is a tragedy that we lose Such a good racer. But Chick Hicks says that loser's gone now. And Chick Hicks is suspended for 2 races because his response was not very nice. And even Matthew Phillip Wheel, his rival, has something nice. Mrs. Axel McDrift. Nick Charger will replace Axel McDrift for B-Fly Juice. Dale Earnhardt will start the 6th race and lead for the first 16 laps. But then, Ken Schrader will take the lead on lap 16. And now here's a bunch of cars who lead for these laps. But nothing important happens until Kyle Traxon leads for 241 laps! Which is a record now. And Kyle Traxon believes he's going to win. But no, James Robson takes the lead on last 2 laps and he wins the 6th race. And here's his own reaction to his 2nd win. And he tells his best friend Alloy Wilson, Jonathan Melcher will start the 7th race and lead for the first 7 laps. But then, Clint Shiftwright will lead to lap 335 for a total of 328 laps in the lead, defeating Kyle Traxon's record from the last race. Michael Cartrip is out on lap 126 because of a blown engine. WJ Lights is unfortunately near Michael Cartrip when this all happens and it is down 2 laps. Larry Smith will take the lead for the next 27 laps, but then Kyle Traxon is 2nd as of lap 262, and he crashes Davey Carlson, Mark Carton, Rusty Cornfield, and oddly, Thomas Tanrev, who's in this race, and Larry Smith is down 6 laps. Kyle Traxon will take the lead, and then all of these cars will lead, but nothing really important happens until Dale Earnhardt leads until lap 354! But then, Cale Yarborough will take the lead, and another boring path of a bunch of cars leading and not doing much will happen. Oh, even Neil Breaking gets a shot, though. Yup, this is just who will be leading for the next so-and-so laps. But yeah, you do see the pictures. Oh, even the King leads here. But Clint Shiftwright will lead all the way to lap 377, and James Clean Air will interrupt that alongside, and Larry Smith's back on lead lap. But Clint Shiftwright regains the lead on lap 384. On lap 402, Alloy Wilson will take the lead for 8 laps, and Clint Shiftwright will lead for that last 90 laps, and he'll win the 7th race. Andrew Axler cannot race in the 8th race because he's sick, and instead, Ricky Slood will start at pole position and lead for the first 4 laps. But then, Davey Carlson will take the lead on lap 4, and then on lap 17, he's down 1 lap because of a blown tire. Dale Earnhardt will lead until lap 256! How? But then Davey Carlson will be back on lead lap on lap 244. Kyle Traxon is 6th as of lap 198, and he crashes Chick Hicks, who's down 10 laps, Cole Speedland, Greg Candyman, and Sammy Smelter. But Chick Hicks says some very mean things to Kyle Traxon, and Kyle Traxon does the same back to him. Alloy Wilson takes the lead, but then so does the King, who will lead all the way until lap 282. Surprisingly, on lap 280, Chick's back on lead lap! And Chick goes on to lead to lap 300 from lap 282. And Chick Hicks wins the 8th race despite being 10 laps down. And then he says, Kyle, you suck, after winning. Larry Smith tells Chick Hicks that's very rude. And here are the standings after the end of the 8th race. You can see that the King and Dale Earnhardt are tied for 2nd place.
Remember to press the notifications button, which goes ring, ring, ring after you press it. And lightning strikes back, and that's as if you subscribed, of course. And thank you for watching this entire video.
If you're a dedicated fan of Cars, you know Cars first came to theaters on June 9th. And that means that today is the 14th anniversary of Cars first being released to theaters. And now, every June 9th, I will try to release a Cars-related video.